Our guest today, Paul Johnson, CEO of Snagshout and Massview, co-founder of Seller Labs. Interesting interview ranging on topics from technologies to how to grow your Amazon sales. Walmart is referenced, as well as his own fitness business. Because Paul has such a great background on all these technologies, I mean, Seller Labs was literally the first technology third-party tool to integrate with Amazon to send automated emails. He's got some fantastic insights. Super excited to have this interview. Welcome to the My Amazon Guy podcast. This is the My Amazon Guy podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Pope, founder of the agency My Amazon Guy. Tune in each week to learn how to grow your Amazon sales. All right, I'm now joined by Paul Johnson. Thanks for coming on the My Amazon Guy podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Glad to be here.
So, Paul, you have a lot of experience navigating technology, navigating sales on Amazon. This is going to be a really meat and potatoes podcast. We're going to talk about it all. So let's talk kind of roadmap for our listeners today. We're going to be referencing what Paul has done through some of the technologies he's worked with. It helps people launch products. He also has his own Amazon business. And we're going to talk Q4 and like what people could do to prep. So there's going to be a lot of good takeaways today. Super excited to talk to you, Paul.
Awesome. I'm glad to be here.
All right. So let's talk a little bit of history first, just to set you up as an expert. For those that don't know you, tell us a little bit about how you've been, you founded Seller Labs, you did Snagshout, and then you're going into Massview. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I've been doing e-commerce back before e-commerce was cool.
What was the first item you ever sold online?
Yeah. So the first item that I sold on Amazon was a guitar, actually. So, well, not on Amazon. This was online in general, was guitars. Basically, I worked at a guitar shop, and there was an online special on CNN talking about people making money online, and I decided to start selling guitars. From there, I started selling everything. Actually, in Atlanta, where you're from, there's a postal auction where you can buy all the stuff that's lost in shipping for the entire country, for the entire United States Postal Service. And we used to go there and buy all kinds of stuff. So I've been doing sales online since eBay was bigger than Amazon.
That's awesome. My first item I sold was a Magic the Gathering card on eBay. It was a Sliver Queen back to Stronghold. So,
dude, that's awesome. I actually used to play Magic the Gathering a lot. I actually still play a little bit. Me and my son are actually working on a trading card game accessories brand right now.
That's awesome. I'd love to beta test it. Send me the details.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'm doing a YouTube series on him starting a business selling product on Amazon.
For the geeks that are watching and geeking out and nerding out with us, I'm also a Hearthstone legend. So I'm semi legit as it would be.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So talk to me about. I jumped to that guitar question and the first item you sold because I'm always curious what item people sold first. But let's go back to the tech. Walk me through. So yeah. You founded Seller Labs. You helped build some of the first technologies on Amazon. You're running Snagshout and Massview. Let's go into some details there.
Yeah. So me and Brandon Checkett founded Seller Labs. Gosh, I think it was like 2013 when we did that. We had built a bunch of software internally for our own businesses, and then we turned it into Seller Labs. So like Feedback Genius was probably the biggest thing that we did there, and then Snagshout as well. And then we built a whole suite of tools there, and had a lot of success. And then in 2017, for a lot of reasons, I was basically ready to kind of move across the country and do some different things and kind of do like a more remote work lifestyle. And so I ended up selling my stock into the company and got out, but I spun Snagshout out as its own business in 2017, and we've really been focused on that. And then last year we kind of finished the beta testing, and now we're like fully launched with Massview, which is basically the merchant platform of Snagshout. So we used to be able to go into Snagshout and create everything, but now we have everything in Massview. So Massview is basically a a full Amazon kind of marketing platform for SEO. So we have like all the keyword research tools that you need inside of Massview and all the keyword tracking and everything. And then we also have all of the things to be able to help you rank. So we have the ability to do Snagshout deals, the ability to do Facebook chatbot campaigns as well, and all the keyword tracking and landing pages and just everything you need to start ranking for the keywords that you identify with.
Yeah, so that's a great development. So let's talk about how somebody might use your product, your tech, to get an edge in Amazon. So when somebody's first launching a product on Amazon, it's a difficult quagmire, right? Like you need sales to get sales on Amazon. It's like chicken and egg question. So what do you typically recommend people do, and how could they leverage your tech to make it a more seamless process to launch a product?
I think no matter what your business is on Amazon, you got to have a way to initially get those sales. And unless you have a big list or a big group of customers that can come in and start buying your product, then you basically have to advertise, right? And like for me, like if I just start off running sponsored products, I end up my ACoS whenever I launch a new product is like really high, like 300%. Or something like that on sponsored products whenever I do something new. And so what I do at first instead is I just discount, right? And so I use coupon codes but lately Amazon has been blocking people's ability to leave reviews if it's a discounted sale and all those things. So instead, what we do is we offer rebates to customers. And so we give them cash back, and there's no requirement to leave a review. And in fact, like a lot of people don't leave reviews still because it's not required or anything, but we're able to get people rebates. Go ahead.
I have a made up stat I always use. I always say 1 out of 100 people that order leave a review. And with like an automated email program, you might get it to 2 out of 100. Do you have an opinion on that made up stat?
I actually have real data that I've done over the years, and it's changed. I don't have like the perfect one, but so back when we were at Feedback Genius, it used to be 8% would leave a review when you had automated messaging coming in. But that number has fallen incredibly now that Amazon's basically locked out the ability to, like, everyone can opt out, right? So a lot of people most of the emails just bounce now anyway when you send them to people, and they don't even deliver them. So
like more than 60%.
Yeah, so a huge amount are just bouncing, and then people are inundated with emails anyway. So organically, like organic sales on Amazon are really low. It is in the like 1 to 2% range. Whereas the request a review button actually has done pretty well for us. So we built in our Chrome extension, we built a thing to automate that, which I think some other people have done that as well. But that's a really nice feature where in Amazon, in the orders thing, there's a button that says request a review. And I don't know exactly what Amazon's doing on the back end, like how they notify people, but it's nice.
I think that they're signaling that they're going to get rid of automated email programs. Personally, that's my take.
Yes, I do agree. That's another reason. Another reason why I decided to kind of exit out of Stellar Labs was I saw the writing on the wall. I was like, oh, hold on for a minute. This email stuff is not going to be around forever.
Yeah, the weird thing I've struggled with, like running an agency, is like, do we chase the shiny apples, the gray hat tactics, or like the cutting edge things that work off of Amazon into Amazon? And I've really struggled on this question, like, because the rules, the terms, and the conditions, and all of these factors like are so rapidly changing. I've actually gotten back to more of the basic best practices, like optimize listings, do lots of SEO work, run PPC and Seller Central. So as an agency, we've gotten like 10 out of 10 on that stuff. But our skills on like chatbots and external traffic have suffered because we can't keep up with the changes. So I think it behooves Amazon sellers to pay attention to tools like yours and know, like, okay, here's the current wave, right? Go down this path, so you ride this wave out, but beware, it's a changing aspect. So Paul has got kids next to him. He's trying to talk them off, and in this day and age, that's totally cool. Like I've got kids that can knock on my door any second. It's not a problem at all, Paul.
Thanks.
But to bring you back to topic here, so what do you what doesn't work anymore, and what does work now, based on what you've seen over the last few years?
Yeah, so for me, like the things that are really working well are going to be anything where you're able to get a full price sale on Amazon. So here we kids.
It's totally understandable.
I'm literally sitting outside, so it's quiet.
It's like can't send your kids to school because of COVID. Yeah, so it's like you gotta micro all this stuff. So anybody listening to this who's got kids, they totally get it.
I got a slew of them. I have 6 kids.
That's a handful. Actually. I've got 3 kids under 5, and I thought that was a handful. But
yeah, no, I think that like for me, like full price sales are the key, right? Like whether or not you are coupons still work, and especially if they're not like huge discounts. But what you really need is a full price sale on Amazon. And if you think about it, like Amazon basically just has tons of AI and algorithms that are going around. And like, as far as me, like we deal in thousands of orders, hundreds of thousands of orders, even that we help, sellers get and stuff like that. And very rarely do I ever hear of a seller getting any type of policy violation or anything like that. What happens more so is that the algorithms will, delete reviews or block people from getting a review or something like that, right? And so the thing is that anything that's going to signal to the algorithm that your sale or whatever might not be 100% organic or legitimate, that's when Amazon's going to come in and they're going to start deleting stuff and things like that. And so obviously like a discount is a super easy signal. Whereas if you're getting like a full price sale on Amazon and everything's coming through, like that's a much more organic signal to the algorithm that something is legitimate. And so what we really focus on is generating full price, legitimate sales to the algorithm. And then we offer, cash back to basically encourage the buyer to go and do that. And
kind of like a rebate?
Yeah, like a rebate, exactly. And so, and that can be anywhere from, 10% or 20%, or on our platform, we require at least 20% rebate, but that can be anywhere from 20% up to 100% off the product. But you have to do that to get the sales going. And I mean, you could definitely do it without discounting. You could not discount to get those full price sales, but your ad spend on your Facebook or your PPC or any of those things is going to be pretty high if you have a brand new product that has no reviews, no anything. Like if you just start from scratch with nothing, you're going to have a pretty hard time, especially if you are working in a category where your competition and the keywords that you're going after have a lot of reviews, right? If someone searches, water bottle and everybody has 5,000 reviews, like why would they choose yours, even if you are bidding number 1 on sponsored products and stuff like that?
So I thought I would just go source a product and then all of a sudden Amazon pay me passive income. Is that not how it works, Paul?
Yeah, it's not how it works. And the funny thing is that I think a lot of people are still operating on this old model of like looking at products that are selling really well. And they're saying like, hey, this product's selling really well, so I can make one too. And that's not at all how it works. Like what you really need to do is actually look for keywords. This is my strategy, at least.
This is the gold nugget of the pod right here. I already know. Go. Let's do it.
All right.
Here's the Paul Johnson strategy.
This is my strategy for product development. So what I do is I look for keywords that have a large amount of traffic, but the reviews are very low, right? And so there's all kinds of keywords that are always coming up that are like new trends and new niches and stuff like that, where there's a lot of people searching on Amazon for that keyword, but the competition actually doesn't have a lot of reviews and things like that. And so those are the products that I would launch, especially if you are trying to get started on any type of budget. If you have like millions of dollars to invest in just advertising and throwing it at a product, then you could go into a saturated market. But the best way to find your niche is to actually look at the keyword data. And so that we have all that data in Massview where you can kind of filter through and be like, show me products that have, or keywords that have of 10,000 searches a month, but to have on average less than 100 reviews for the products that are in the top 3 or whatever. And you can kind of pick out those things and build your brand around that.
So one of the questions people are going to ask, or they're going to write a comment on this, so I have to do this one. Why should somebody use your keyword tool versus Helium 10 or Jungle Scout?
Yeah, I would say like 2 reasons. Like number one is price. So our keyword tool starts at free. So that's pretty easy to.
That's always good. Free's good.
Free's good. So we give you like a few searches a month for free, and then we have like an unlimited version of our tool for $24 a month. And then the other reason why I really like our keyword tool is because we have everything built into the Chrome extension. So you can like look at reverse ASIN data or whatever, like right into our Chrome extension, which is cool. I don't think Helium 10, and I'm pretty sure Jungle Scout's not doing that. And then I really like the way that we aggregate all the review data on the keyword and let you kind of filter all that data right there in there. But I'm not trying to say that we are necessarily the best. Necessarily, I love our keyword tool. I use it personally for my business. The thing that I like about it is that we have everything in one place. So like once you identify the keyword that you want to rank for, you can start tracking that, and then you can literally launch a campaign, either a Snagshout campaign, a mass chat campaign, which is our Facebook bot, and everything. And we already have all the keyword targeting built into it. So it's like kind of like a cohesive package where you can have everything.
So talk to me a little bit about the Facebook bot. I think a lot of people know about like ManyChat, but that might be the extent of their knowledge. So does the Facebook bot stuff still work? Because like back in January, like January 6th of 2020, they made an update where you couldn't like chat somebody after a 24-hour period. So like, how does that change the strategy? Yeah. Does it still work? That kind of stuff.
Yeah. So first of all, so the way that you would do this in the past, and by the way, like every big seller that I talk to that's like gotten really big, like they're using something, right? They're using either like a chat bot, they have like their own platform, like everyone's doing it, just nobody's talking about it or whatever. I just want to be clear.
It's a unique thing. I share all my trade secrets openly because my content is my way of getting access to new clients that hire me for services. So I have an advantage to doing that. But people who are doing this in mass scale, they don't want anybody to know about it because once the door opens, everybody does it. Amazon cracks down on it and nobody can do it. So I get that. So go on.
Yeah. Okay. So basically like with ManyChat, so here's the crux of it all. Basically a conversation in Facebook Messenger, my dog's over here looking at me. A conversation in Facebook Messenger actually converts better than a landing page is really the key to it. So basically when we run our deal flow chat through Facebook Messenger, we're able to convert people for less than $1 per sale usually, and sometimes like cents per sale, because a lot of times what will happen is like somebody will get a hold of that ad and then they'll share it with their friends, and then all of a sudden the ad cost is really lower versus sending people off of Amazon to like directly to Amazon or to a landing page. That has a much higher cost per sale basically. And so regardless of whether you can follow up with them in a chat, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that you can get that customer for a cheap price, because we collect their email address and everything. So we can follow up with them. Whenever we pay them their rebate, we follow up with them. Whenever we do that, we have that email. And then if you manually go in to Facebook and message them, you can do that as well. So we have the Facebook chat that we can chat with them. And then we also have their email address that we can follow up with them and email them. So it's not really a big deal that Facebook doesn't allow you to follow up. And if you want, you can pay to follow up as well, right? Like you can pay as an ad to like run a message to them, like, hey, leave me a review.
Like retarget them?
No, you can actually like send them a message in Facebook and pay to send them a message. Like it shows up in their feed, in their Facebook message feed.
Interesting. So I actually didn't know about that last part. So that's interesting.
Yeah. So you can do that, but you can also manually just have somebody go in and, on your team and be like, hey, like as long as you're not like mass, like chat botting, like everybody on your list, you're going to be Okay.
So is there certain categories that work better or worse for these approaches?
Yeah, I would say, um, well, here's the thing. Like, let's say you go to put a deal on Snagshout and you want to run a rebate campaign or something like that, right? Like, we have a good audience, but it's not as big as Facebook's. So if you have like something super niche that you want to do, like let's say you're doing a Magic the Gathering thing, like what we were talking about, right? Like, I would absolutely use Facebook in conjunction with any other platform I'm using to get my sales, because I can go into Facebook and I can target. So the other thing that I do whenever I'm trying to figure out a product that I want to sell is I actually match up the I go into the Facebook ad manager and I start building a audience right there, and I make sure that the audience is big enough for somebody for me to target in Facebook before I even develop a product. Like, if I can't target them on Facebook, I'm not going to build a product for that niche.
That makes perfect sense. All right, so Paul, you're a serial entrepreneur, as I like to say, right? Like
Yeah,
you've
that's
done a
true.
bunch of business stuff, and I'm sure there's probably five other business ideas that are on your whiteboard, and you're like, how can I do all of them,
That's
right? Like
right.
that's
That's right.
classic serial entrepreneur. So one of those projects is your own Amazon business. So tell
Yep.
us what you're willing to share on that, and how's that going?
Yeah, well, I won't. No one ever shows their exact product, but I will say that we're in the fitness category, and one of the things that's kind of interesting is that we actually kind of mistakenly started this business, not even being super aware of like patent and IP laws and everything, and we actually got into a product where there was a little bit of a patent issue, and we engineered around the patent, and then the company actually sued us, and we settled the lawsuit. We got through all of that, and part of the settlement, we actually gave the company the ability to basically sue competitors. And so it was awesome because they actually got like a ton of the Chinese competitors kind of kicked off of Amazon and everything. And so our sales like went really crazy. Then in COVID, we had amazing sales that way. So we've just been really lucky and blessed to kind of have a lot of things turn in our favor. We just signed a deal with Walmart. Actually, our product just went into stores on Walmart. We're in 1,700 stores now
Congratulations,
for
that's a big
Walmart.
deal.
Thank you. Yeah, so it's been really really good. And the thing is, the cool thing that we did was we used the patent stuff. So we ended up going and getting some of our own patents and things like that, and we used those patents and the Amazon sales story especially. We basically went to the Walmart buyer and we were like, "Hey, Walmart buyer, we're number one in Amazon for this category, and you're not stocking this thing. Like, you should stock us." And they were like,
You'd be
"Okay."
an idiot not to buy our product.
Right. And we
And
showed like all of our reviews on Amazon and everything, and they were like, "Yeah, let's do it." And so, yeah,
this is probably my second favorite takeaway so far, because I think a lot of people are like, "Hey, I've done Amazon. I'm a 6 7 figure Amazon seller now. What's next? What do I do?"
Walmart,
Yeah, Walmart.
brick and mortar. Yeah, maybe Walmart's, and honestly, like, we just started getting into stock, so I can't report exactly how good it's going, but you
That's a good
know,
problem to have, right? Like you
yeah,
sold so well during COVID because, like, yeah, and I got a fitness client too, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Everything's sold out. You had to raise your prices to the point where Amazon's like, "You're price gouging," and you're like, I'm just trying to do my best here,
I'm just
Amazon."
trying not to run out of stock,
Yeah,
guys. Like,
yeah. It's like how do I run my business under these circumstances? It's like damned if
yeah,
you do and damned if you don't. Coin flip, you
crazy.
lose. Heads, tails, you lose. It's like you can't win in these environments. So like this is the business environment of 2020 that we're dealing with. But nonetheless, so you talked about getting into Walmart brick and mortar. So how did you start that conversation? So like let's say I run $1 million brand and I want to get into Walmart physical brick and mortar. What do I do?
So your best bet is to find somebody that's a rep that reps to Walmart. So so in Bentonville, it's a very fun city that you go to. But in Bentonville, it's Walmart town, right? Bentonville, Arkansas. And basically every company has like all the big companies, all the big brands, they all have like offices right there, and they just cater to Walmart, right? And there's a bunch of reps and different people they'll basically sell into Walmart for you, and you pay them usually like a monthly retainer, and then a percentage of whatever your sales are to Walmart. And those guys are hooked up, man. Like they can basically get you a meeting with a buyer, right? I mean, first they're going to check your product and make sure it's not stupid, because they don't want to look dumb when they bring the product to Walmart. But the other thing that you need is you need something like a value, because like just because you have like the best selling water bottle on Amazon, like it needs to be like a little bit different than like what Walmart's already stocking probably. Or you need to be able to bring Walmart something. Like you need to be able to bring them something
new that's not a Me Too product.
Or super cheap, like, but who wants to play that game, right? So yeah,
you win on price, you're going to lose on price eventually.
Yes, and so I think, but Walmart is a value player, so you do have to be competitive on price. They're not going to put in, like I have some stuff that's like more premium, and like it just wouldn't be a good fit for Walmart. But Walmart's so big, like they have I think 4,000 stores. That might just be in the U.S. And if you just sell 2 units a week in Walmart, you're selling 8,000 units.
We lost Paul for a moment there. He's got some internet. Because Paul, I understand you don't necessarily live downtown.
No, yeah, I live out in Meade, Washington, out in the mountains here. I'm actually sitting outside, but
beautiful area for those that are watching on YouTube.
Yeah, just like like this is kind of the view. So
all right, so we were talking about Walmart. Give us last Walmart tips. Walmart ads, whatever it is. What should people be doing on Walmart?
Yeah, I would say like number one, like don't discount brick and mortar. Basically, everyone's trying to figure out what their next channel is after Amazon. Everyone wants a diversified business. Like if you want to make your Amazon business worth a lot of money, like get brick and mortar distribution. Walmart's a great first place to go, but there's a bunch of others. Find a rep. That's really good. If you think you're ready and you want introductions, then you can hit me up. I'm trying to think. Just go to massview.com and fill out the contact form and say, hey, Paul said, hit me up or whatever. And I'll hit you up. Actually, paul@massview.com. If you want to email me, just email me.
We've got the co-founder of Stellar Labs, the CEO of Snagshout, CEO of Massview. Just dropped his email right into the pod, guys.
Yeah.
Paul@massview.com. So if you want to get a hold of him,
just email me. If
found you on the My Amazon Guy podcast when you tell him.
Yeah. I answer, like all of our marketing messages come from my email address now, and I answer a lot of email. I'm going to try to keep answering emails until I can't anymore.
So founder to founder question, right? So like I'm hitting the limit on email that I capacity could do, right? So like I get reports on like Slack messages. So in my 30-person organization, I send 1 out of every Slack messages, 1 out of 8. And
that's a lot.
That's a lot, right? Like in the thousands. And so on email, I don't have the stats on this. I think Gmail should release something like this. I use G Suite, but I am reading probably 450 emails a day. So like here's the founder to founder moment. Like how do you manage the scale, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I think people are just starting to realize, because like we do like automated, like you replied to my message, right? Like I sent out an email blast to like a bunch of people, and like only a few, I got like a bunch of people like quit emailing me. Like I get that sometimes, right?
Unsubbed.
Yeah, unsubbed or whatever. But hold on, I got a kid coming in. Hey, I'm on a podcast. You need to go inside, please, and lock the door so the dog doesn't come in. But anyway, yeah, I would say it's funny because a lot of people don't even realize that, like, even on our automated messages that, like, I say in the message, like, hey, if you reply to this, it comes to my inbox. I will check it. I will send it. But yeah, basically, like, every time I get one, I read it. If it's something that I can handle, then I'll just handle it for them right then and there or answer it. And then a lot of times I do send it over to my support team or one of our customer service representatives and everything. But for me, like, a lot of people just still go to our support channel, and it's almost nice. It's like if they have like a real question or issue where they think they need my attention, then they'll message me. But if it's like, they know that if they message me for like something simple, that I'm probably not going to be the one that handles it anyway, and support does it. So
yeah, that's one of the things I have. I'm getting better at this, and I'm trying to empower my personnel, right? So like, I'm building my Amazon Guy to hold. Like, I'm never going to sell my agency, and private equity galore. They're like, I get hit up on LinkedIn like every other week. I'm telling you, hey, we're consolidating agencies. We're gonna merge this stuff. And so once I made that decision to hold, I started like empowering people more, and I'm in the business of HR and people. And so like, it's a totally different ballgame. Then you're like thinking questions like, what would it take to get somebody to stay at my company for 5 or 10 or 15 years? This is something I reflect upon all the time. So what advice would you give me as a scaling business owner?
Well, I think that like, for me, I think the thing that people want to stick around for is going to be autonomy, right? Autonomy and purpose are like the two big ones. So if you can give people autonomy and give them ownership of stuff, that's going to really help them stay. And then if you can give them purpose, and it's kind of hard, like with Amazon, like I just had
We're
one of my
not saving
developers.
babies per se.
Yeah, I had
but...
right. I just had one of my most talented developers leave because he's just like, I'm tired of helping other people just make a bunch of money selling stuff on Amazon or whatever, you know.
Was he a millennial?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a millennial technically as well, right? But you know, like, I mean, it's true. Like, I mean, I don't know. I couldn't argue with him that bad. But yeah, if you can like, you know, it's one of the reasons why like I really like working with small, like really small businesses. Like I'm helping somebody right now that's just like super small, just trying to like get their Amazon business off the ground. And like for me, like that's the purpose. Like if I can help somebody kind of quit their job and build like a full-time income, like that's really cool. Like I love working with the big guys. Like the big guys pay the bills and stuff like that. But the small guys are also just those are the ones that are fun to work with, that are just give you purpose.
Yeah. All right, so I'm reading a book about how TED Talks, and there's a chapter about a great question to ask. This isn't the first time I've done this because I read this last night.
Okay.
Tell me what makes your heart sing.
Oh my gosh. I was actually asking my wife this. I was like, what do you get like joy out of in life? So to me, I would say like, I'll give like the business ones, which is just like really like developing something new and like the creative process or whatever. Like I'm a product guy through and through. Like I love seeing like new products come to life and really seeing people use those and get joy out of them is really good. And then personally, what makes my heart sing is anything to do with like cooking or making food. So I don't know if that is on topic or not, but I really love that. So
it's probably because of all that, you know, that's the reason you got into fitness, is because you love food, Paul.
Yeah. Well, I used to, back in the Solar Labs days, I was, 240 pounds and I've lost like, 80, 90 pounds.
Dude, congratulations.
So,
that's awesome.
Thank you.
So
I love food, but I gotta manage the food, right? Like it's hard. COVID has not been easy for me. Staying home.
I picked up my COVID 7 or 10.
Yeah, I call it the COVID-19. The 19.
Might as well call it the COVID 20 at that point. Oh man, that's good. All right, well, cool. So we covered a lot of ground. This is a longer podcast because I just think you're an amazing resource. You got a lot of insight. You've seen the history of tech, third-party tools with Amazon. You know, I used Snagshout when you were first starting out. Probably should have led the podcast with that. But you know, tools change a lot, and so does the company. So I think I hired Snagshout when I was working at a lighting company before I started the agency. It's been a while since I first started out doing it. So last question for you. What advice would you give people going into Q4 this year? Like, what do they need to do to make sure they succeed this year?
So to me, I think that like, if you're going to start Q4, if you want to do anything with SEO, so I'm all about SEO and like organic sales and everything. Like I like the PPC, but the PPC to me is like a means to an end to get the organic ranking. And so in my mind, like if you want to get ready for Q4, like if you're going to do any type of advertising push to help you get ranking, start it as soon as possible, because what's going to happen is the way that at least that we've discovered that the search algorithms work is it's all about winning the the click share and the conversion share basically on the keyword that you're going after, right? And you can see these things in Brand Analytics if you have access to Brand Analytics. But basically, like, you want to win the click share and the conversion share for SEO. And so if you're going after a keyword, it's much easier to win click share and conversion share on a specific keyword when the sales are a little bit lower, right? So Q4, everything's just going to get even more intense. So if there's something that you want to try to win and rank for, go ahead and start as soon as possible before you get to Q4, before everyone's sales are generated. Everyone like comes to us like right in Q4, like October. They're like, all right, I'm ready to start generating sales. I'm like, you guys should have done this like 6 months ago.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it is easier to launch a product in Q4 than any other Q. And this year, everybody's late to the game with their supply chain management because they lost the 4 months of the year for one reason or another. So right. I get it. This is going to be a rough one. All right. Well, Paul, any parting thoughts? Any other topic? You got the floor. Last comment.
I would just say, parting thoughts. I don't know. Just thanks for having me on the podcast. I'm really glad to be here. I've been kind of aloof from a lot of the Amazon stuff lately. Like, I think when you hit me up, like I sent out like an apology email basically saying, hey, I haven't been sharing our stuff with what we've been doing. So we're here to help. Like, if you need anything, let me know. I'm trying to offer my time as freely as I can to as many people. And if you happen to use our tool, and you want a feature or something, or if you have a cool idea for like a tech feature for Amazon that looks like something that we might be interested in, like, hit me up. Like, I'm ready.
Inventory management's the number one most requested tech tool that people are not satisfied with right now. Yeah. And it's because Amazon's inbound tracking sucks, and your inventory disappears, and you're just like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know when to reorder. Complicated. I'm not saying you can make money selling that tech tool, but that's the one I would do if I were in your shoes.
That's the one that you're getting a lot of requests for?
Yeah. One of my clients has thought about actually going out and seeking investor money to do it himself. That's how frustrated he's also a serial entrepreneur. I'll send him a copy of this podcast. He'll get a hoot out of this. So you two can talk.
Yeah, man.
All right. Awesome. Well, cool. Thanks for joining us on the My Amazon Guy podcast. Again, if anybody wants to get a hold of Paul, he actually gave out his email address, paul@massview.com. We'll put that in the comment or the description of the pod. Again, thanks for coming on, Paul. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right. That's the My Amazon Guy podcast today. We hope you hit that subscribe button so we can teach you how to grow Amazon sales ongoing. This was the My Amazon Guy podcast with Stephen Pope. Each episode helps you grow your sales on Amazon through ideas on traffic and conversion rate improvements. Hit that subscribe button right now to tune in each week. And if you need more help, go to myamazonguy.com.